let's talk about fairness and affirmative action, because one of the things that's always striking to me is, and it's the Rush Limbaugh audience, and listen, as someone in talk radio, I happen to know 95% of radio is right-wing, and I would love to have corporations allow people who are in the middle of the spectrum or to the left of the middle to have the same outlets that a Rush Limbaugh does. They don't. That's a problem. But the people who listen to Rush Limbaugh will say, you know, I don't want them, you know, people getting ahead of us or things like that. It's interesting to me, George W. Bush, our president of the United States, went to Yale. Now, I can tell you, and it's not just as a Yale graduate myself, George Bush didn't get there on his grades. And he didn't get it on his extracurricular activities. George W. Bush went to Yale because his father went to Yale. There is something in universities called legacies. You know it well. And it means that people who are rich, generally white, privileged people from the highest spectrum of American society can go to college even if they're a D student. Now, that to me is affirmative action for the wrong people. That's negative action. Don't you think the Democrats could say in response to, well, we don't want to give affirmative action to this poor kid who's worked hard. Why would you give affirmative action to rich white George Bush, who's had, you know, a silver spoon in his mouth his entire life, rather than a kid who did come from the wrong side of the tracks and had to work doubly hard because his parents didn't go to college? And I mean, is that an argument the Democrats can make?
And it applies to poor white kids and black and everybody else.
Absolutely. Poor white kids too.